up, guys? It's Oh, let me turn this up. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better. But today is Thursday, 9:05 p.m. Just got done with some work. Been working since about 10 a.m. and it's 9 a.m. So it's almost a 10 11 hour 10 11 hour day. As you can say, there is a change. Cut off all the dreads. There's gonna be a reason for that later in the video. I did just want to hop on here and just kind of spit some information that never realized that I understood. Never thought that this would be, I would understand this. It was always something that I was struggling with, especially when it comes to content creation. And I've been doing content for a long time. Okay, maybe I haven't got like really big. I've never been over 5,000 subscribers on the channel. Never. Every single time I get to like 5,000 is whenever I kind of cut it, and I never understood why. And it was always something to do with me, like myself, not as like I'm not getting views or I'm not getting paid or anything. It's always something to do with me. And I feel like as a creator, you sometimes get caught up in that I need to be perfect syndrome. Content needs to be perfect. I need to be perfect. I need to be exactly where I need to be to actually make content. Whenever that's not the case, um, one thing I do want to say is that one thing that makes a great creator, like even if your content is as basic as me sitting down and recording this video, the thing that differentiates it is conviction. When you speak with conviction, you are now tied to this viewer's story. And as a content creator, you need to figure out how to use your story, combine it with a viewer story, and make a YouTube video out of it. And I feel like that's why a lot of people blow up is because of the fact they know that documenting this journey, showing what they were doing whenever they were in this specific spot versus what they're doing now. Like take Iman Gazdi for example. You can go back and watch his entire journey over the last like 8 years, and he documented the good parts, the bad parts. And I feel like whenever you have that sort of conviction, whenever you were talking, it's always going to resonate better with the viewer. And it took me a long time to notice that, and I just now noticed that after creating a couple of these videos. And I never really opened up about why I do all I do and what kind of started me in this journey of entrepreneurship. Um, I never really have gotten into that. For my own, I guess, like personal reasons, I guess, of just not knowing if it really matters. But whenever it does really matter, especially if you're going to be making content, trying to monetize the content, I feel like people should know who you are. And sorry, I want to make sure that it was actually correct. But but yeah, I feel like you guys should know who I am and like what kind of got me in this entrepreneurial state. Um, so first business was about 5 years ago. I was no, sorry, 4 years ago. I was 15, barely just turned 15. I'm pretty sure. Was working at this ice cream place. I'm not gonna get into the name because some states don't have it. But yeah, that was kind of like my first entrance into the real world and like working 9 to 5 sort of environment. And that's when I realized that I you can work the hardest, but you're never going to get the pay that you deserve, right? To where you can work like someone who is working 12 hours. You can work 12 hours, but you're not going to get that 12-hour work ethic pay, if that makes sense. So that was my first introduction to the world and how it is. And honestly, ever since then, it's just never made sense to me to work on an hourly rate. So my mom was always the one that showed me that hard work gets you to where you want to go, right? But she was always the one working the hardest in the room, but never got the pay that she deserved. So that's was another Canaan event, I guess you could say, that was in my life that I was just like, why is she getting pennies when she should be getting quarters? And I went on to make my my first business reselling. I was reselling AirPods, AirPod Maxes, Apple products, just things like that. Eventually moved over into different avenues like reselling sneakers or reselling clothes or reselling whatever else, right? And I did that for about 6 months to a year. It made me a decent amount of money. I was making pretty good money around that time. I was like 15, I was like 16 whenever I stopped doing it, because that's whenever I found about content, marketing, and things like that. So I really wanted to get into that. And I started making videos. They were doing pretty good. I was getting pretty decent traction, getting people asking how I do what I do, what's my setup, like things like that. And I think that's whenever I decided that I wanted to make money online rather than making money from a regular 9 to 5. You know, like the regular 9 to 5 life is just like you go to college for like 4 to 12 years, which is crazy. You get this degree, get a job, work for 40, 50, 60 years and retire and then die. And of course, you have kids, have a wife probably between that. But I wasn't necessarily fond of the way that life was marketed. I guess you could say marketed, you know? So was not very a big fan of that. So I did whatever I could to like get into different business avenues. Like I got into marketing. Marketing was my main thing. And then a little bit after that, I got into trading. Trading was one of my side hustles, but I was still doing it, investing. And then I got into sales, still kind of doing marketing, but I focused on sales because I needed to learn how to close deals for my own agencies, my own businesses. I wanted to learn how to close. So that's when I got into sales. And I say all this to say, like, I know this is just like really just me like rambling, but I say all of this to say, like, you have a story to document. It's the one that you're living right now. Like, whatever it doesn't have to be like you building a 10-figure business from scratch type of documentation, but it can even be starting your journey as a software engineer, starting your journey as a content creator, starting your journey as someone who likes to sew, like all of these different things, just like a documentation of your life. And none of that needs to be specific to like I'm building this 7-figure company living in Tokyo, Japan, moved out of my parents' house at 16. Like it doesn't need to be crazy. Like it just needs to have some sort of conviction to where someone can rationalize but also see themselves in your videos, something that they're not willing to do or something that they're too scared to do when they want to see someone else do it before they do it, right? And that's just the way the world works with social media, right? And I feel like I finally tapped into that ideal of it doesn't need to be a perfect situation for you to make content. It doesn't need to be a perfect situation for you to go ahead and chase your dreams, right? It doesn't need to be any of that. You just need like something to record on, a journey or a destination, and just work towards it every single day. I've always overcomplicated content of like you need something crazy to document. You need to make $1 million a year for people to even be interested. To some extent that is right, right? Like people love to see people with money because they know that they can follow them and get whatever sauce that they have, right? So I'm currently building. Actually, I don't know how many businesses I'm building right now. Currently building 4 businesses as of right now. Of course, I have like I want to start other side hustles, but I'm currently focusing on these main skills, like hard skills: sales, marketing, trading. Those are the only 3 things I'm really focusing on as of right now. Of course, I want to learn other soft skills like email marketing, SMS. Like, of course, in my business I do that, but like what I mean by that is just like that mastering it, I guess you could say, to where I can move on to the next skill. And skill stack, and I want to document that, but like I just haven't been documenting that. Like it doesn't matter. These videos don't need to be perfect. They just need to be videos formulated and posted, right? And another big issue that I always had was just sitting there getting an idea for a video and not recording it immediately. Like today, like I only have two things left to do today. Is record this video because I had the idea to record it, and then do some other stuff for the business. And it's not really like anything deep. I'm gonna be done within like an hour. And it's just always having that idea of like people don't really care where you're at. People just really care to see the journey. So like someone may mess with your content and you post that video, they're going to be a viewer for life because you had that conviction. You always shared the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever else they say as far as sayings, right? Um, but yeah, I'm going to start focusing on the conviction, the documentation part. I'm going to start posting more, and then yeah, I mean, honestly, like I'm just gonna start out with YouTube. Just gonna start out with YouTube, ride the YouTube wave. Maybe post some videos on Instagram, TikTok. But I really just want to stick to YouTube. I don't really care for the other social medias, if you want me to be honest. Um, but after that ramble, I want to get into, as you can see, Drake, you have no fucking hair. You're correct. I have no fucking hair. Um, there's a couple of things that kind of sparked this change. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, you need to be very self aware of who you are. Not like know exactly who you are, but just be aware of what you don't want to be and be aware of what you want to get to. And I feel like cutting my hair was one of the best decisions I probably made in this entire journey. So, if you guys don't know, I work in tech sales. So I'm a tech sales guy, right? So I sell software. I work remotely from home, directly from where you guys are looking from right now. This is exactly what I do. I just sell things, basically. And stepping into the corporate world is something that I want to avoid, but of course I want to educate myself. I want to be around people who are like minded like me without having that 100% risk of starting a business without having a foundation first. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things. You need a foundation, and not only just financially, you need one mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever. And I feel like being around people that are on the same journey as me, maybe not to build a business, but they want to get better, right? And stepping into this role, it's like honestly my first job in like a long time, and I make pretty good money for my age without this. But I feel like humbling my brain and humbling my the spiritual side of myself is going to be the differentiator of if I'm going to be a rich 20-year old or if I'm going to be a wealthy 20-year old. And it's just another thing of like I tied my hair to my identity to where you always like, yeah, that's straight right there because you can tell because of his hair. You most people weren't necessarily looking at like my traits, right? And I feel like it took me a long time because I've been thinking about cutting my hair for like 2 years now, but I just never did it. I just pushed it off because I was like, no, like I need my hair, like it's tied to this, my brand, whatever. But I feel like growing up, now growing up into like the man that I am today, I need something to differentiate myself from the person that I used to be, because I have changed a lot. It's been a wild ride for the last like 3 years. It's been a very 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 wild ride for sure. It's been so wild, and I've changed in so many ways positively. Of course, there's been some negative change to that, but of course, I've always found a way to balance the two and always come out on top into the best version of myself, right? And I was always like, hey, I'm gonna cut my hair. Then this time, I never did cut my hair. This time, never did, to where I just mainly pulled the trigger on it when I was out in Vegas. I just randomly thought about it. I was like, all these things are happening, and some things I can't talk about yet. I'll put it in like another video at a later date whenever I'm ready to talk about it, and the other person's ready to talk about it. But I needed something to show myself that I have 100% changed, because it's all about yourself, right? Like, no matter, I don't care how people like to word it on social media or just in general, you do majority of the things for yourself. You don't do it for other people. I don't really care, right? Um, I did this as a symbol of locking in on myself, locking in on my journey, locking in on on things that I want to do with my life, and I don't need hair to do that. And I don't know why it took me so long whenever I was planning to do it a long time ago, right? And I think it's just like that endless procrastination of what are people going to think about me? What are people going to say whenever I do it? What are people going to, are people going to make fun of me? Are people going to scream and call me a monkey? Like, I don't know. Like, I just never did it. But now I made the jump to actually do it. And it's one of the biggest but the most important thing I've ever done in my life. Like, before even chasing money, before ever chasing this type of status, before ever chasing this life, just showing myself that I can do something without the human or small circle telling me that it's a good idea. Doing something for myself. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it just feels great. And honestly, I was able to wash my hair for the first time in like 2 3 months from me having dreads, and it was the best thing of my life, bro. I was able to get into my scalp. I was able to wash my anyway, right? But regarding that, I was it was just something that was game changing, to where I'm not bringing all of this mental energy, this bad mental energy, into my new life that I'm building. To where this new chapter in my life does not have anything negative from it. And I don't know, something like God was telling me to just do it, like to stop thinking, stop saying, just do it. Like, you were already planning on doing it anyway, so just do it. And then I did do it. My life has never been the same. It's only been a couple of days, and I just feel so different. I feel like an actual human being. I don't know. Like, I just feel different, to where I don't feel as much weight on my shoulders. Like, I feel like all of that weight is alleviated off of me now. Sorry, I'm looking at my forearm. That shit's huge. But yeah, we're gonna be locking in pretty soon. As of right now, I'm gonna be making it non-negotiable, like at least a YouTube video a week, at least. just sitting here talking, updating you guys. I don't want to post too much. I'd rather do something with a lot more information, if that makes sense, to where it's like, oh yeah, weekly update of starting X company or whatever. If I even want to go into like what companies I'm building, right? I want to keep it very real and raw, and I don't want to like be like these other YouTubers that are just kind of doing it because they know they're gonna get paid. I want to do it because this is documentation of me building myself, and majority of these videos are going to be mixed in with gym, fitness / diet stuff, business, whatever else I can make of it. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there, figure out what I want to do, and then hopefully you guys will be along for the ride. But yeah, it's been yapping for about 20 minutes. So probably gonna end the video here. Gonna go ahead and get some clips from this. Probably start editing it pretty sure. I'm just gonna be doing the basic amount of editing pretty much. I'm probably just gonna keep these videos raw until I figure out what I want to do. But yeah, if you're watching this video, thank you. I frick with you, bro. And I'm also trying to stop cursing because, you know, it's not the most professional thing. So, I frick with you, bro. I appreciate you. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.